Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to something new, for me at least, something I've not done before, which is a tier list of, it's of DC movies, so it's kind of on brand for me, but it's a tier list. I haven't done any of these on any of my channels, so we'll see how this actually goes. Now, unfortunately, even though it is DC stuff, some of this older stuff and even some of this newer stuff I haven't actually seen or just like haven't gotten around to seeing yet. Some of them I didn't watch on purpose. Some of them I just haven't gotten around to yet. And one of them specifically, I just straight up haven't been able to find anywhere, which is really upsetting to me. So I'm going to just go ahead and get the ones I haven't seen out of the way so that we can rank the rest of them. Unfortunately, all of the Adam West stuff was already... I'm pretty sure this is Adam West. This might be someone else. But all of the older Batman stuff has been pulled from Netflix and all this stuff. This looks like a Swamp Thing movie I never watched, unfortunately. I watched the TV show that I believe was on the CW, but I can't remember. I never watched the Supergirl movie, and from what I've heard about it, I'm probably really glad I haven't watched it. I am, however, incredibly excited for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is going to be in the DCU. Very excited about that. This is apparently Superman 4. I don't remember it at all. I remember Superman's 1, 2, 3, and Returns, but I do not remember Superman 4 at all. This looks like another Swamp Thing movie that I, again, never watched. I'm going to be real, I don't even know what this says. Shag Steel? No idea what that is. Never watched the Catwoman movie, which, again, I believe is one that I heard was kind of bad. This is something I've been meaning to get around to watching. And I'm going to... You know what? I'm going to actually... Oh, no, wait. I want to leave that... This color. I want to add a row below. Alright, so this row is actually going to... I should have done this before, but I'm so sorry. Give me just a moment. This is going to be the next color. Keep them in a line. And this is going to be... Going to watch. I don't know why it put it all the way over on the side. I'm going to move Watchmen to here. Because I 100% want to watch that. But haven't gotten around to it yet. Mostly, I keep seeing it on, like it keeps popping up on Max, but I just haven't actually started watching it yet. Everyone I've talked to that's watched it loved it, but I haven't seen it. Jonah Hex, haven't seen that either. Let's see, what other ones have I not seen? I know there's one more. Yep, okay. Wonder Woman 8, 1984, which I also heard was garbage. So I'm just going to be ranking these ones here. And I will be doing them in order. I don't think this is release order. I don't actually know what specific order, or if this even is in a specific order. Whatever. Superman the movie, I very much loved Superman the movie. And I'm going to be comparing them just to each other, by the way. I'm not going to be comparing these on a metric with, like, other movies. Not in this tier list. I'm going to give that an A. I did very much enjoy it. It was incredibly well made for the time. So, very good. Christopher Reeve, fantastic. It was great. This one here, Superman 2, very much in the same vein. I'm actually going to rank that as an A as well. I very, very much enjoyed Superman 2. Superman 3, on the other hand, was not great. I don't know why there's an E tier that's not even actually necessary. But I'm going to put Superman 3 as a D, which some people might be like, really? Why not an F? Other people might be like, well, maybe it deserves like a C or a B. No. That's a D to me. It wasn't nearly as good as the first two movies. It didn't feel the same to me. It didn't feel like even the same character to me. It was very different. Did not enjoy that. Anyway, Batman with Michael Keaton all the way up there today. I might hold on. Man, people are going to very much see what characters I like the most out of all of this. I'm stopping and I'm thinking because a part of me wants to bump it up to S tier, but again, it's another one of those that was incredibly good for the time, and I feel like still holds up. I feel like the original Batman movie still holds up. Now, Batman Returns, I don't think I enjoyed it as much. Well, man, there were a lot of really good performances in here, but it was like, looking back at that movie, it is incredibly, like, unnecessarily dark. Not that Batman isn't, but Batman Returns was just like unnecessary. Like, it was to an unnecessary level. It was good. I very much enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give I might give Returns a B. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a B. Yeah, okay, Batman Forever. This is Val Kilmer, because Michael Keaton did the first two. Batman Forever, which is technically supposed to be the third film in this same franchise with the Michael Keaton movies. Batman and Robin is also supposed to be in that same universe, just for the record, or it was supposed to be. But the difference here is the first two were directed by Tim Burton, and the third and fourth, so the second two movies, were directed by Joel Schumacher. Batman Forever, I'm kind of floating between like a C or a D even. I mean, it wasn't. It's not the worst Batman movie. All right, it really is not. But it's definitely not on Batman Returns level. I'm going to tentatively put that. No, you know what? D. It wasn't a terrible movie. I still enjoyed the experience of watching it. My major problem is that Riddler and Two-Face literally both feel like they're supposed to be the Joker. And I hated that. I still hate that even more. I recently rewatched all of the Batman movies. I own them all on DVD, because I'm an old person and I still have DVDs. Except for this one, which I'm going to throw in the F tier, because this was an absolute steaming pile of dog shit. All right, Batman and Robin never should have been made. George Clooney, honestly, the casting, not terrible. He looks a lot like what I would imagine Bruce Wayne would look like in real life. The problem is that the script was terrible, the movie was terrible, the nipples on the Batsuit were an affront to God. It was terrible. There are literally zero redeeming qualities. This movie has literally zero redeeming qualities. None whatsoever. Zero. Now, before I talk for 3.5 hours about how much I hate Batman and Robin, let's move on to the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, which I technically would rank. I have two actual rankings for the way that I would make. Like, I have two metrics that I'm ignoring one of them for this current tier list, because for this tier list I am ranking mostly on how much I enjoyed the movies. If I were to make a comic accurate tier list, this would look much different. Namely, or mostly, pretty much every movie would be an F tier. If I went comic accurate. Constantine, nowhere near comic accurate, but very enjoyable film. Now the question is, did I enjoy it as much as Batman Returns or no? I feel like under the correct circumstances, I might. Actually, you know what? I rewatched this recently as well, and I think I will actually put it on the same tier with Batman Returns. I think I will nestle that into the B tier. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Now, more Batman movies, because we've got 80,000 of those. Batman Begins, the first movie in the Dark Knight trilogy, which the Dark Knight trilogy, just gonna go ahead and throw this out there, I think is my favorite trilogy of movies, full stop. At least currently, of movies that currently have a trilogy, it is my favorite trilogy. I think Batman Begins is incredibly close to being the best Batman film we've gotten in live action. But I'm trying to think of which ones out of, because I would feel bad. I don't feel like they should all go in the S tier, but I do feel like at least one of them belongs in the S tier. And I think most people know which one that is. I needed to get a closer look at the words on the covers, because I couldn't remember which cover was which. These three are in release order. Actually, I think it's possible that all these movies were put in here in release order. Anyway, Batman Begins. Man, these are the ones out of all of the movies on this list. They're the ones I've watched the most, because I own the trilogy. I actually own 2 copies of this trilogy on DVD. One of them is in like a box set that comes with, like, it came with like a little book that had like concept art and stuff like that in it. And the other one is like the actual collector's box. I've probably watched this entire trilogy at least 10 times. And I've rewatched them recently again because, like I said, I watched all of the Batman movies, which includes these ones and the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I think I'm going to put Begins. As much as I want to put it in the S tier. No, you know what? I'm putting it in S tier. It's a great movie. It is a phenomenal film. I very much enjoyed it. An incredibly strong way to open up a franchise. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And was supposed to actually be the spawn of an interconnected universe, but that never ended up happening. Alright, Superman Returns. I mean, it's D tier. Look, all right. A lot of people would be like, "Nah, bro, that's F tier. Like, you should just throw that in the trash." I'm gonna give it D tier. I liked it more than I liked Batman and Robin, and we're actually just going to delete the E tier. We're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. Yeah. So we're just gonna stick Superman Returns in the D tier, where I believe it belongs. All right, The Dark Knight. You know, the one that had Heath Ledger's Joker in it. Arguably the greatest film ever made. At least the greatest superhero film ever made. Yeah, that one right there, definitely S tier. All right, that's S tier. And then we are going to change the colors on some of these because, you know, we need this in the correct order first and foremost. All right. We need these in the correct order. Wait. I think I've already fucked up. No, I didn't fuck up. Okay, so we're going to add a row below. And we're going to make that row this color. And it is going to be named Never Should Have Been Made, which is below the F tier, because at least the F tier might, like, I can see a world where people could possibly enjoy it. You'd have to be insane to enjoy Batman and Robin, but I can see how people could enjoy it. Now, the Green Lantern live-action movie with Ryan Reynolds, you know, a movie that I've been referring to as the movie that shall not be named, should never have been made. There's no reason for this movie to exist. Also, I forgot that I didn't see Birds of Prey there. I've never seen that one. Anyway, there is literally no world in which this movie was even necessary or ever should have been made. This one was another one that was supposed to spawn an entire universe, an interconnected universe. And it was the worst thing anyone has ever put to film. And I've watched some really shitty movies, TV shows, and frankly, 95% of YouTube, including possibly this video. So, but even this video, no matter how much you hate it, is not as bad as that fucking Green Lantern movie that never should have existed, and there's no universe in which it ever should have. It was so bad. So bad. Anyway, Dark Knight Rises, it's either A or B. It's the weakest of the Dark Knight trilogy. Unfortunately, it is the ending, so it sucks that it's the weakest entry, but it is. It is, in fact, the weakest entry. The question is, do I enjoy it more than I enjoy Michael Keaton's first Batman movie? And I believe that I enjoy them relatively similarly. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. This list, I feel like, well, never mind. We've got some real bad movies coming up. I was gonna say that it looks like it's gonna be top heavy, but this, we got some real bad movies coming up here. Man of Steel is not one of them. That honestly, I very much enjoyed Man of Steel. I personally am not an enjoyer of dark Superman. Like I'm really not. Emo Superman is not something I enjoy. The real question here is Man of Steel with Henry Cavill as good as Superman the movie with Christopher Reeve? And I honestly believe I have to say no. No, I don't think it is. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Yeah, it was good. Don't get me wrong. As a film, it was good. It was a good story. I enjoyed it. I I do enjoy the idea of Henry Cavill as Superman. The problem is that Superman's not supposed to be dark. He's not supposed to be angry. He's not supposed to be depressed. He's supposed to be optimistic and happy and like sure he has his moments, but where he like his mental attitude, like his emotional state is reduced to a more, shall we say, base level. But Superman at his core is not, he's not dark, he's not sad. He's an incredibly optimistic character, and I don't like the DCEU's portrayal of Superman's personality. Now, here's something that makes me incredibly sad because there was so much potential for this. But it's gonna have to, well, ooh, is it as bad as Batman and Robin? Is it as bad as Batman and Robin? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Which sucks because honestly, as much as some people might be upset about what I'm about to say, I know there are a lot of other people that will probably wholeheartedly agree with what I'm about to say. Physically, and honestly, I believe he has the chops to do it. Ben Affleck actually inspired casting as Batman / Bruce Wayne. Very good. He definitely looks the part. He has the build. He's very physically perfect for that role. The problem is not Ben Affleck. And I feel like a lot of people just sort of attributed it to the actors, which I feel is unfair and unfounded. Well, for whatever reason, Henry Cavill gets like none of the hate, but Ben Affleck does for some reason, and I don't understand that because I feel like with the script he was given and the role he was actually playing, for one, was not actually Batman. This was some sort of sick perversion of Batman. I feel like Ben Affleck would be perfect for or to play as an older Batman. I genuinely do, like wholeheartedly believe that Ben Affleck would make a perfect older Batman. And it makes me incredibly sad that this movie sucked. It was so bad. And that makes me sad. But that being said, the next movie, Suicide Squad. We are ranking this on how much I enjoyed it. Fuck. Do I also put this in the F tier? Or it never should have been made? There's no way I'm putting this in the D tier. No, this doesn't belong this high on anybody's list. I don't know why. I've seen some tier lists where Suicide Squad was put in like A and B. Those people should be checked out mentally. They should see a therapist because there's some problems there. I think at least, okay, here's the problem. Suicide Squad, the actual team of the Suicide Squad, was a fantastic idea to make a movie for. Actually kind of inspired idea. The problem is that this iteration shouldn't exist. This was absolute dog shit. It did have... See, the problem is that it did have a couple of redeeming qualities. The only redeeming qualities in this movie, and I'm wondering if some of the unredeemable qualities offset the redeemable qualities. Redeemable qualities, alright, Margot Robbie, I mean, that performance as Harley was perfect. It was great. She fucking nailed it. She was wonderful. Viola Davis, fucking inspired casting for Amanda Waller. Absolutely perfect. The question is, does Jared Leto's Joker offset the perfection? Does his one absolute dog shit performance offset the perfection of Margot Robbie and Viola Davis? I'm very much on the fence about whether this belongs in F or never should have been made. The only good thing, really, is that afterward, we got to keep Margot Robbie and Viola Davis. So I'm going to leave it in F tier, I believe, for now. I might change my mind through the rest of this tier list, we'll see. Now, Wonder Woman, the first one, was actually really good. I very much enjoyed this film. Gal Gadot, whom I'm actually not a fan of as an actress. I genuinely just don't really think that she's a very good actress. I really don't. She's attractive. She's smart in real life. I'll give her that. She is an incredible human being. But I genuinely do not believe she's a good actor. That being said, she did well for what this movie is. She did really well. Thankfully, with editing, you can make anyone look like an actually at least halfway decent actor. If you just do enough takes and edit properly, you can theoretically make anything good, or at least decent. But this movie was really good. I very much enjoyed this movie. It's actually one I've gone back and watched a second time, which is not something I do I'm not in the theater. I've only done that with one movie by myself. I've done it with 2 movies in general that I can remember, 3. But the other 2, 2 of them I went with people both times, and it was different people. There's one movie that exists that I went to the theater and saw twice by myself because I enjoyed it that much. And then when it came out, I bought it digitally as well. And that is Logan, which I believe is a fucking masterpiece. But that's not DC, so it's not on this tier list. We are talking about Wonder Woman. The question here is... Okay, here's the thing. I definitely enjoyed Wonder Woman more than I enjoyed Man of Steel. I believe. But I don't know I definitely don't enjoy it as much as Superman the movie, Superman 2, Batman, and The Dark Knight Rises. I'm going to put it in B tier. But like over here. Maybe here. Yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna move these around. No, I enjoy that one more. Yeah, we're gonna move them around to the ones that I actually enjoyed more. Unfortunately, I did enjoy this more than I enjoyed that. No, that belongs there. Okay. Anyway, so that's that. That's where all those are at. Did very much like it. Again, Gal Gadot, not a great actress, not a fan of her actual acting, but that movie was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. Chris Pine basically makes any movie you put him in better. Anyway, the Justice League. Is this a D or an F? I'm gonna have to put it in F. I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed Batman and Robin. But this is just a bad movie. It is. It's just a bad movie. It feels disingenuous, honestly. This whole movie, both versions, are just sort of cobbled together. Like, this team up is not earned at all. It's not even remotely close to earned. I don't, at this point, feel like when this movie gets released, the only things that were released before it were Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, I believe. Wonder Woman, came out before it, I believe. Maybe not. I can't remember. But yeah, so the only two characters you really have connection to, like the only characters that I had any connection to at that point were the Trinity, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I mean, obviously, I personally do feel connections to the other characters in the film as well, but I'm talking about it with the actors' performances within this universe. It was completely unearned. It felt cobbled together. It was not good. It was not good. Moving on to Aquaman, honestly, Jason Momoa as just the casting of Jason Momoa, with being a departure from like the actual, what people expect from Aquaman, was good. That was great, actually. Jason Momoa, in my opinion, phenomenal for the role. Made perfect sense to me. I enjoyed this movie very thoroughly, actually. The question is, do I believe that this is a B-tier movie? How much did I enjoy Aquaman? I think I enjoyed it more than these two. Yeah. I'm going to put Aquaman right there. By the way, still have not seen the sequel, which is not on this list. Also, there are a couple of others that are missing that were not put on this list, such as Blue Beetle, which I would actually rank at as an A tier, just for the record. I would put Blue Beetle just as a standalone movie in the A tier. I very much enjoyed it. The Flash movie, I think I would unfortunately put as what would currently be our sole C tier movie. That being said, Shazam is here to maybe be a C tier. I actually really enjoyed Shazam. I thought it was pretty good. Again, have not seen the sequel, so that would go down here. Yeah. The question is it a C tier, or would I actually move? I'm actually contemplating moving it up to the B tier. Did I enjoy it as much as Man of Steel? I enjoy them for different reasons. Like, Man of Steel gives a really good story. I very much enjoyed the story of Man of Steel, but I really enjoyed the characters in Shazam. I mean, the story was pretty good too, but I enjoy the characters more than the story, whereas in Man of Steel, I enjoyed the story more than the characters. Because, the characters were kind of two-dimensional, one-dimensional even. Like, Superman should not feel like a one-dimensional character, but he did. But the story redeems this movie. Shazam is the other way around. Actually, the story was... I'm going to put it above Man of Steel. I might actually bump Man of Steel down to the C tier. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, Man of Steel's going to be a C tier. Now, I'm actually going to skip ahead to the Snyder Cut. It was an improvement from the Justice League because it did give more information. It was a longer movie, but it gave more information. But a lot of scenes were also just unnecessary. You probably could have cut the film in half and got the same information, because all you'd have to do is cut out all the spots or all the chunks where it's just like a pan over an area with like lamenting music. You could just cut literally all of that out, and it would be the same length as the Justice League with more information. So it would still be a better movie than the Justice League. The unnecessary amount of shots panning over shit with lamenting music, and the slow-mo, again, with lamenting music, is actually hurting the Snyder Cut here. I feel like it was padded. All of the runtime was padded with pans over things, slow-mo and zoom-ins, which were all completely unnecessary. But I feel like, does it belong in the D tier? A weird part of me also kind of wants to put it in the C tier, even though it is basically garbage. Because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the garbage that was the Snyder Cut. It was better than the Justice League, for sure. The question is, did I enjoy the Snyder Cut more than I enjoyed Superman Returns? I haven't seen Superman Returns in a while. I do own all of the Superman movies on DVD as well. I might have to give those a rewatch soon. I think I'm going to put it in the D tier, but over these two. Yeah. Okay, now, Joker. Alright? The first movie here that's actually about a villain, because Black Adam is actually a villain. Joker. A lot of people got really upset about this movie. A lot of people walked out of the theater. Alright? A lot of people were made incredibly uncomfortable by this film. And that is literally the point of this film. It is not supposed to be a movie where you go to watch. It's not supposed to be a movie that you sit and feel comfortable and you're happy and you enjoy the film. That's literally not what it's meant to be. It's explicitly showing you a man's descent into madness. You're watching his mental state very rapidly unravel and watching his entire life collapse. That is the point of the film. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's supposed to show you, as best as they can, what that descent into madness looks like. And it's vague, at least vaguely, from the perspective of the character who's descending into said madness. I own this movie, both digitally and a hard copy, on Blu-ray even. Not just DVD, but Blu-ray. This is an incredible film. I love this movie. And I'm going to put it... Ooh, does it belong here or here? Maybe even here? If I could get it there? I think it belongs right here. A part of me kind of wants to put it in S tier just as a film, because I very much enjoyed the film itself. I think I'm going to leave it in A tier. It was a great movie. I very much enjoy it. If you're not if you're the kind of person who's not going to be like unable to watch something that makes you incredibly uncomfortable and you have not seen The Joker, I would highly recommend it. It is very good. Okay, The Suicide Squad. Differentiated from Suicide Squad by a singular 3-letter word at the beginning. This film, saw the return of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Amanda Waller as Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and Dude Bro's name that I've forgotten as Rick Flag Jr. It also introduced two actors who I feel fairly opposite feelings about. One of them being Idris Elba, whom I love. I think he's an incredible actor. He's wonderful. And I do genuinely believe very much elevates this movie. Even above where it would be before. Even if it was just a different actor who played it the exact same way. Even if it was a different actor who played it the exact same way. He as a person elevates it anyway. Maybe it's the accent. I don't know. I just love him. And the other is John Cena. One thing that I've said very consistently, actually, over the course of the last 10-ish years, is if you have an established franchise and a WWE superstar joins it, your franchise is dead. that is the death of your franchise. It's over. That is normally the case. However, I actually kind of enjoy John Cena as Peacemaker, which I've actually just realized the Peacemaker show is also not on this list. Which I did watch the show and actually loved it. And I believe I would put Peacemaker at an A tier. The show. I very much enjoyed it. I would put that as an A tier. The Suicide Squad, which I also rewatched recently. Man. I think it's definitely above all of this. I think it's up here. I think I might actually plop it down right here. I very much enjoyed this movie. Yeah, parts of it were kind of silly, and parts of it were really campy. That being said, it's a fucking comic book movie, and comic book movies should be campy. There's not very many ways you can take a live action adaptation of a comic book character, make it non-campy, and still have it be good. Which I firmly say, while having two movies that did exactly that in the S tier, above this movie. 3 of them that did it, 4 of them even, 5 of them. I just realized everything above this movie in the list is exactly what I just said can't be accomplished and be made good. And, yeah. Anyway, we're moving on to The Batman. Directed by Matt Reeves. Starring Robert Pattinson as Batman. Now, and anybody who talked to me at literally any point between the announcement of Robert Pattinson being cast and the movie actually coming out knows that I was vehemently against Robert Pattinson playing Batman, because the only things I had ever seen him in were the dog shit Twilight movies about made after dog shit books that I don't understand how people like. I'm sorry, Mom. I know you love those movies. I'm so sorry. I hate them. I had only ever seen him in those and as Cedric Diggory in the Harry Potter franchise. Those are the only roles I had ever seen him in. And I was like really the sparkly vampire. And then I had to deal with all of the memes of like, oh, vampires really do turn into bats. Which is ridiculous, but also funny as hell to me at the same time. That being said, this movie is easily the greatest live-action adaptation of Batman I have ever seen. It is so good. It is so fucking good. The music, honestly, the music elevates this movie even further. And honestly, Paul Dano as the Riddler and making him like this Zodiac killer version instead of, you know, the Riddler that we're all used to was phenomenal. And I could not help but notice that almost every shot of outside, it was raining. It was always raining. And even when you were indoors, you could hear the rain on the rooftops and on the windows, and I loved that. It was really set the mood. I love that we know that he was in his second year, and they literally showed him being inexperienced. I love that we took a step back from spectacle film and went back to the basics of what Batman is, which is the world's greatest detective. That's what he is. He is a detective. That's what he does. Absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, my biggest qualm with this movie was Catwoman. I forget the name of the actress. Was it Zoe Kravitz? I don't feel like it was a great performance from her, honestly. I wasn't a fan of her performance. I forget the name of the actor who played Commissioner Gordon, or was he wasn't Commissioner here, who played Detective Gordon. Which makes me feel really bad, so I'm going to bring up a tab over here. The Batman cast. Jeffrey Wright was incredible. As James Gordon, and yeah, Zoe Kravitz is her name. Paul Dano as Riddler. Colin Farrell as Penguin was absolutely perfect. And Andy Serkis, honestly, before this movie, I don't think I had ever even seen his face. That's not true. He was in the MCU. So I know I had seen his face at least once. He normally does like motion capture stuff. Like he was Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. He was Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. Both the voice and the mocap for both of those characters. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The casting was wonderful, except Zoe Kravitz. And maybe she would have been good casting, and I just didn't enjoy her performance. I don't know. I just didn't care for it. But even the fact that I didn't enjoy her in the scenes that she was in, I wasn't like taken out of the movie because everything else was so perfect. And that shot, honestly, that shot that was in the trailer actually of like when the Penguin's car flipped over and Batman was walking toward it, but the camera was like flipped upside down and it was fire and you see Batman like upside down coming at the camera. One of the greatest shots ever on film. It was phenomenal. It was a fantastic movie, honestly. I cannot say enough good things about this movie. It was absolutely incredible and I cannot wait for the sequel. Now, Black Adam. Remember earlier when I said that WWE superstars completely destroy movie franchises and not in a good way? Yeah, The Rock is the main offender. I honestly am getting really fucking sick of Dwayne Johnson. I'm getting tired of seeing his face everywhere. I'm getting tired of his voice. I'm getting tired of him, honestly. If I could go the rest of my life never seeing Dwayne Johnson ever again, it would make my life better. I am tired of this man. And he ruined what would otherwise be an at least halfway decent movie. This movie was not good. The best part of this movie was Dr. Fate. By far. Oh, okay, and Hawkman. I really liked the portrayal of Hawkman in this movie. It was pretty good. It was a good portrayal of Hawkman. But I absolutely loved... God damn it, now I've forgotten his name too. Who was that? Son of a bitch. Black Adam cast. Pierce Brosnan. Absolutely phenomenal. I loved that character. So, honestly, if they'd have just made a Doctor Strange, or not Doctor Strange, a Doctor Fate movie with Pierce Brosnan, that would be perfect. That would be great. But it was a Black Adam movie, and it's an F tier. Did I hate it more than Batman and Robin? No. No, Batman and Robin is an affront to God. It's so bad. Yeah, it was terrible. All right. So, this is the way my tier list looks. It's not quite as top heavy as it looked like it was going to be at the beginning of the tier list. Oddly enough, this actually is the inverse of the way most tier lists look. Because normally the middle is where most of it is. Most things middle out. No. Mine, the middle is very much that this is like an hourglass. Yeah, this is my tier list, and I'm hoping, that the DCU will blow all of this stuff out of the water. I don't think it will blow all of it out of the water. These three, which I can't help but notice are all Batman movies, are going to be difficult to top. But there's a lot of stuff that's been announced for the DCU that I feel like could potentially do it. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the DCU. Really hoping that it does well. And that we finally get an earned team-up movie. Anyway, yeah, that's that. Thank you guys for watching. And see you later.